I only think of you when on two occasions, really. That's day and night. Doom, doom, doom. I go for broke if I could be with you. Only you can make it right. Now that song right there is what got Jukebox's ass whipped tonight. It's not funny. It's not funny. Don't laugh. But yeah, that's what got her hurt tonight. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Before we get into that, what's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review Season 1, Episode 9 of PowerBook 3, Rasing, Kanan. And tonight's episode is titled Loyal to the End. And this was a crazy one. But before I get into that, I have to shout out to my lovely subscribers. We have a new subscriber, LaWanda Brown. Shout outs to Annette Richard. Shout outs to Savannah Rivers Amore. Shout outs to Lamar Simpson, Tony Tone, The R.C. Kroger, Ruthless TV, R. Smith, Quiet Guy, Simply Be Yourself 100, House of Sir James, and June BLC. Special shout outs to her because she is in tonight's episode in the church scene. You see that lady sitting in the front, right in front of Rock in the church scene? That's June BLC. Shout outs to her. Congratulations. Now let's get down to this episode. These people are crazy. So we know what happened last week. Lulu. They tried to kill Lulu. Lulu is still alive. Thank God he's still alive. He's in the hospital. But Marvin is out for revenge. And Marvin catches Unique at a spot where Unique is vulnerable. He catches him where he least expects it. It looks like he's coming out of the movie theater or whatever with his son, his small child. But Marvin don't care. Bang, 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 bang. Shot that car up. Shot up the people. I believe one or two people got hit. Still didn't get his target. But Unique, his car, we learned, was bulletproof. Marvin went crazy like a madman on that car. But him and who was with him? Lil Rob. But they didn't get who they wanted to get. So they go back. Now, this is the thing. These brothers can't. You know, they do all this shooting. They always miss their target. Didn't Lulu miss his target a few weeks back, a few episodes back? Now, Marvin, you missing your target. What's up with that? But I'm glad that the little boy was not killed. That would have been a bit much. But it shows how heartless and cruel these people are. Nobody cares. Kanan comes from a family of cold people. They just cold. So anyway, we see Marvin talking to Lil Rob, and he's like, you know what? You snitched on Kanan, didn't you? And Lil Rob cops his plea, but gets rid of him, kills him, sets the van on fire. Like, listen, you snitched, you told, you talking about you was doing it, you did it for me. Nah, that's my family. It don't work like that. I ain't buying it. Killed him. These, like I said, these people are heartless. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Lulu's girlfriend's there. Rock is there, but this has her enraged. She's like, you know, they must have forgot who I am. They gonna do this to my little brother. They must have forgot who I am. She is on fire. She is mad. So mad that when Symphony comes, she did Symphony wrong tonight. When Symphony comes, she's like, I didn't call you here. I don't need you here. She realized, she's like, look, I ain't got time to be in love. You can't love me. What we had was just a little game. It was just a make-believe. That's our imagination. I can't do this. So he tried to tell her that he loves her, but she kept dissing him, kept being rude. So he said, you know what? F you. And she was like, oh, I didn't know you had that in you. He's like, F you. You know what? Leave her alone. I like them together, but leave her alone. This lady, nah, she crazy. And so he says that to her, but he did give her a tip. He said, but tell Marvin that he can't trust Tony. Now remember, Symphony heard Tony with the cops last week trying to set up Marvin. So that was cool of him to still tell him he can't trust Tony. I don't know if she's going to tell him or not, but we'll have to see. But we also seen in this episode where, you know, that thing with Symphony and Rock was crazy. But we also see Rock is enraged. She wants revenge too. She has a conversation with Marvin. They kind of make amends and everything. And she's like, listen, look, I took over when you got weak, but I'm in charge, whatever. But she basically asked him, she said, look, I need you to come back into the fold. I need you to come back into this fold because we got things we got to do, whatever. We even see her going to church tonight. And that's because she's going to church to ask for forgiveness for something she's about to do, which we see that she's setting up. This lady is something right here. And the crazy thing, back still at the hospital, because they were at the chapel in the hospital. But she did go to church too. Shout out to June BLC for being in that church scene. We're at the hospital, and I'll go back to the hospital. Detective Howard notices this suspicious dudes. These are unique people giving money to a nurse. So she gives them uniforms, or orderly, whatever she was, giving money to her, and she gives them uniforms so they can go into the hospital, disguised as workers of the hospital, and finish Lulu off. But Detective Howard caught all of this. He saw it. So I said, see, they cold. Y'all really gonna go in here and shoot up a hospital? Y'all really that crazy? So they go in there and attempt that, but of course Detective Howard stops that. So now he has a conversation with Rock, and he's telling her, listen. And it seemed like, okay, they had this conversation. So now we're going to see this loyalty between Rock and Detective Howard. Because he's like, listen, I did that. I helped you out, blah, blah, blah. But he said, listen, I still want to let Kanan know that he is my son. Tell him to meet me. If not, I'm telling you, it's not gonna go well. So you might as well do what I ask. So she says, okay, I'm gonna do this. And she says, you know what? In the favor that I need is for you to keep the heat off us and put the heat on Unique. But you know, she's clever because we know that's not what she's gonna do. That is not what she's gonna do. And that is why she took herself on down to the church, because she knows she's about to do some more evil. And that's why she's in the church asking for forgiveness or whatever for what she's about to do. Even her own mother was like, what you here for? What's wrong? Something must be wrong. And you saw even her relationship with her mother, that's a strained relationship, y'all. Her and her mom's relationship is very strained. And she asked her mother, why am I the way I am? Her mother said, ain't because of me. See, there's more to that too. See, the mother's cruel too. It ain't because of me. She said, I didn't say it was because of you, but you know, I was just asking a question. Her mother said, don't come here asking me no questions. I said, damn, just cold, just completely cold. Jukebox has this. I was saying Marvin and Jukebox were my favorite characters. I think I'm scratching Marvin off now. He pissed me off tonight. Jukebox remains my favorite character, one of my characters. I like the development of her character, just how she is, and I love how the actress is portraying her and how they're tying it into the original series. So Nicole's parents are down at the precinct, and they are hot, especially the mother, mainly the mother. And she's like, that girl killed my daughter. She gave her the drugs and this and that. My daughter was good. She was no ghetto. See, this is what gets on my nerves with these rich folks. Your daughter was a crackhead. Nobody told her to go smoke in that crack. First of all, who told her to steal the crack vial in the first place? Jukebox ain't tell her to take the Jukebox ain't give her no drugs. This tells me Nicole been on drugs. Been probably sniffing glue and all that crazy stuff that, you know, that the rich kids be liking to do. The magic markers. You know, they do all that sniffing glue and the magic markers and paint and all kinds of crazy stuff and coke and all types of stuff. So don't put this. They always trying to put it on the inner city kids. She's trying to blame Jukebox for all of this. Your daughter was troubled. Your daughter was also a lesbian. Live with it. The father knows this. The father's like, listen, that might not be the case. None of this is going to bring her back. But meanwhile, all of this triggers Detective Burke, remember Detective Howard's partner, to kind of reach out to Jukebox. So she reaches out to Jukebox and she kind of connects, bonds, takes her to get an icy. Then they go bond. Well, somewhat bond, and she thinks she's bond. She's telling her about her past and how she became a cop because her brother killed himself, and she even mentioned, I too am a lesbian. She kind of threw that in there. She's trying to win Jukebox over. Jukebox didn't really seem to be buying it, and we saw it when she spoke to Rock. We saw when Jukebox went to Rock and told Rock, listen, this detective is constantly trying to talk to me and deal with me. Rock put a little buzz in her ear. Rock is smart. She's cunning. She said, sometimes it's good to have cops as friends. And we see that what happens with that because Laverne ends up speaking to her. But now, the saddest part for me, when we get into that, is how Marvin did Jukebox tonight. So right before he did that to Jukebox, he's having a conversation with Kanan. They're getting ready so they could go, get revenge. He's playing Smokey Robinson. Kanan's like, turn that old crap off, turn that old school. And he's like, what? That's good. He said, listen, I need something else. Go look up in Jukebox room. So he goes up in Jukebox room to try to find some music. And he's digging through stuff. And he finds the pictures of Jukebox and Nicole kissing. And he finds the music video, the more VHS tape that they did of them singing 2 occasions, that's day and night. And that's why I said that's the song that got her ass whipped tonight. And he loses it, knocks the TV down. And I remember those TV. Wasn't it one of those TV VCR combo things? I always wanted that. But I had a VCR, but it was separate from my TV. Knocked it down, tore the room up. He's having a fit because he's mad because his daughter's a lesbian. When she gets in the room, she sees the room is all in a disarray. And he's like, oh, he says something so ignorant. Oh, so you're like a girl fag or something like that, he said. And I'm like, really? And then he don't even know he don't know the term. He said, a Lebanese? He don't even know the terminology. He's a lesbian. Damn. So he goes on to say some other things about her, and she says, what happened to this white girl? Where's this white girl at? She said, well, she's dead. He was like, good. She needed to die. That was God killing her for, because he's in one of those, you're dying because of your sexuality. That's what he basically says. And so he says a lot of hurtful things to her. And she spits in his face. And once she spit in his face, now that was disgusting. You don't spit in nobody's face. That's disrespectful. That's low to spit on somebody. It's disgusting. And he backhanded her, but then she started fighting back. They're going back and forth, back and forth. That man beat that young lady, his own daughter, like she was a dude. He even said something like, oh, you think you're a man, but I'm going to let you know you not. Choked that girl, nearly killed the girl. And already said horrible things to her. Then he regretted it after he did it, but if the damage is done. Choked that. That was I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I was like, Dad, you do that to your daughter? Like, nah, come on. Choked her out. Then tried to call her. She ran off, and then we see her later going to Detective Burke, but she tells Detective Burke, she's playing Detective Burke. Detective Burke sees her all bruised up. She's like, listen, y'all are going to be in danger. Unique's, once y'all took his supply, whatever, he's going to strike on y'all. But that's something Rock planted in her. But anyway, I thought that scene, all of that with her and her dad was really sad. I hated that. But now we're seeing the development of Jukebox, which I'm liking, because now we've seen her get in this relationship with this detective. So I'm like, oh, so I wonder if this is the detective is the one who kind of influenced her to become a cop. And also, did you notice in tonight's episode, Detective Howard had the nerve to tell Detective Burke, like, listen, when she told him, I've been, talking to Laverne or whatever, I told you not to go with that family. You know what? You can't be trusted. When it's him that she shouldn't trust, he tells her, I don't want to be your partner anymore, and I'm going to let them know because you cannot be trusted. And I was like, wow, that was crazy. And the most craziest thing of the night, though, for me was Rock's manipulation over Kanan. Because I'm thinking, she's showing him, like a mother teaching her son. She's showing him how to use different guns, which one is the better one, which one is something just for the movies, use this, do that. Then she's telling him, I never lied to you. She's cold, she's evil. I never lied to you before. As she's lying to him, no more lies, she said. No more lies while she's lying to him. You got to take care of somebody, and only you can do it. She's having that boy kill his own daddy. I was like, damn, this woman is cold. So all that she promised Howard, that was all a lie. She want to get rid of it, and she's going to use Kanan to do it. And I was like, this is completely crazy. So we see Kanan in a jacket, Unique's jacket or whatever, and he puts that on, and he goes over to meet poor Detective Howard. Detective Howard is like thinking he's being reunited with his son, and they're going to have this moment. And he's like, that's not your jacket. And that's when Kanan pulls out the gun, shoots him. Now remember what Rock said. She said, listen, when you shoot, you get in the heart, 2 in the heart, and then you finish him off in the head where they think at. That lady's cold, yo. That lady is cold. I thought that was terrible. And he shot him. And from the previews, it looked like he's still alive or barely making it or whatever. But Kanan shot him. And that's where the episode ended. It was this show is so good. These characters are so vicious. And it just keeps you wanting. I just keep wanting to come back and seeing what's going to happen next. What's going to happen next. I cannot wait. The war is on. Because meanwhile, while that was going on, while Rock was telling Kanan about what he needed to do, and Kanan was doing that, Unique is gathering the troops like, listen, we are taking them down. This is war. Anybody associated, we got to send the messages. Anybody associated with her must die. They got to die. They got to go down. And, that's where the episode ended with all of that. So next week I think next week is the season finale, y'all. I cannot wait. I thought it was a good episode. This show is really good. It's coming to it, and I believe next week is the season finale. What were your thoughts? Did you like this episode? What did you think about tonight's episode? Did you like it? Were you disappointed in Marvin? Like, that was crazy. The way he just choked out, like, that was just crazy to me. You can't put nothing past nobody, none of these characters. And now we're seeing how Kanan, that's why it's called Rasing Kanan, y'all. How he's going to turn into the monster that we know Kanan to be. Just cold. This explains it, this explains how he is in the other episodes. So that's it. So that's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.